With a WWE star talking about returning to the ring and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Recalling a backstage segment with himself, Chris Candido, and Sonny, RVD said on his one-of-a-kind podcast in ECW, there was one time that sticks out in my mind where we were doing a promo where I'm walking in the building and they're walking out or vice versa, and we're passing each other carrying the little rolling bag or whatever, and when they walked by me, they wanted me to grab Tammy's ass. That was the deal. And Chris gets mad, and then we have some words or whatever. We'll settle this in the ring tonight. You know, one of those things. And so, I just thought, I'll work and the camera's not gonna know, whatever. And we went by and I just lightly patted her on the ass. And we did it and they were like, cut. Anyway, Tammy comes up, but she says, I couldn't even feel it. I couldn't even feel his hand on my ass. Look, grab it, squeeze it. And I was thinking, she's always wanted me to put over her advances and I never do. And so this is a chance for, I get it. But just like Sandman told me to lay it in the first time I ever gave him a kick, I wanted to try to make her regret it. I walked by them and I just squeezed it as hard as I could, deep, hard, really hard until they turned around and she screamed, which was supposed to, and then Chris went on with the promo and I never talked to her about it afterwards. It seems that WWE is looking to bring more people into the company. As Ringside News wrote, WWE is actively searching for a writer and writer's assistant to join its behind-the-scenes team. The company, headquartered in Stamford, has announced these available roles on LinkedIn. For the writer position, WWE is looking for candidates with 5+ years of experience in writing for TV, film, or social media. On the other hand, the writer's assistant role prefers individuals with 2 years of experience in TV writing and/or production. As of the time of this writing, more than 200 applicants have applied for each position. The new writer will be expected to travel to WWE's weekly main roster shows, as well as attend regular creative writing team meetings held at WWE's headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut. On the other hand, the writer's assistant must possess a clean driver's license and a vehicle and be able to travel for business on a frequent basis. Applicants for the writer's assistant role should ideally reside within commuting distance of the New York Metro/Stamford area or be open to relocation if residing outside of that zone. In addition to these roles, WWE is also seeking to fill positions for income tax manager, building automation technician, mechanical infrastructure supervisor, CMMS technician, space planner/CAD technician, media prep technician, director of sales, road production assistant, manager of international, and VP of special events. We'll have to see whether WWE ends up hiring more people. When speaking to the SI Media podcast, Pat McAfee was asked about his interview with Vince McMahon and if he was nervous, as he said, no. When I was doing SmackDown, I started learning the business a little more. Obviously, as a fan my entire life, I understood and thought I knew what was going on, but once you start meeting people and kind of learn about people in the process of it all, I'm genuinely a curious person too, so I would just go ask Vince questions. Why do you guys do it this way? Why do you do this? I feel like he's naturally a teacher. I feel if people approach him and ask him questions, he wants to tell people why he did what he did. The way he goes about telling people, we've all seen, certainly an interesting thing, and he certainly made mistakes as a human. I think he would recognize that, and we all recognize that. Whenever you're talking about business acumen and American business humans in history, one of the best feels for business and what the future looks like, I just started asking him questions, and I think he respected the questions I was asking because a lot of questions I was asking was for my own business, my own show. He knew about that. I'd ask him stuff about things we were thinking about doing with partners and sponsors and exclusivities, and it would take him back to 20 or 25 years ago. We naturally built up a little bit of a conversation almost every single week at SmackDown because I'd be going through a lot with my show, and at the same time my SmackDown thing is growing, and there are two different silos. My show is sports, football, wrestling, but kind of similar because they're both entertainment, but it wasn't a lot of crossover. Some of our people won't ever watch wrestling, some of the wrestling people came over, but it was certainly two different real worlds that were happening. I just started asking questions about decisions I would have to make. I think he appreciated it. I think he respected the questions I was asking, and anytime you talk to anybody, I learned this with Peyton. I was very lucky to be teammates with Peyton Manning. These are humans at the end of the day. You have to talk to them like they're humans. Soon as you start treating them like they're not humans, they're going to not act like humans. If you get showed up in front of somebody, they're going to immediately shut down and not really talk to you. If you talk to people like they're humans, they appreciate that. Him blessing us, he flew in for that. Didn't know if it was going to happen. It was reported, it was talked about. Day of though, before we went live, did not get a confirmation. I just assume he's coming. Then we get a text, 30 minutes out, 15 minutes out, plain SUV all by himself, no security, walks right in, sits down, does an hour and 15, hour and a half, comes out, takes a picture, says thank you to everyone, back on the phone, back home, probably had another 12-hour day after that. I was pumped more than nervous. I knew that he doesn't talk to a lot of people. I, being a wrestling fan for a long time, have obviously followed his trajectory business-wise on top of everything else. I felt pumped for the opportunity for sure. With Inside the Ropes, Kurt Angle recalled what led to Brock Lesnar losing to Goldberg at WrestleMania 20 as he said, "We go back. We go to Raw or SmackDown. We're on SmackDown." He goes up to Vince, says, "Vince, I want to try out for the NFL." I was like, oh, F, man. He just F'd himself. So next week is WrestleMania, and what happened? Brock Lesnar does the job against Goldberg. It would have been the other way if Brock would have smartened up, but he didn't because he's an idiot. Talking about the possibility of a retirement tour for Goldberg, Eric Bischoff said on his 83 Weeks podcast, "I think it could also be a nightmare, and I wouldn't go near it with a 10-foot pole, but that's just me. The critical issue is, does he have the right promoting partner?" Speaking about her recovery from injury and potentially getting in the ring to compete, Maxxine Dupri told the Out of Character podcast, I'm cleared, training in ring, everything is good, we're healthy. I'm trying to live in the moment. I'm so happy and so content with my character and storylines. I'm having so much fun. I obviously would love to get a little physicality going, but I also want to really take in every single moment. I'm never going to get this time back, so I'm just enjoying it, and when that time comes, I will be so excited. Touching on the merger between WWE and UFC under Endeavor, The Undertaker told The Independent, "It's going to make both companies stronger. I really don't think they need too much interaction because they're such different entities. Maybe some of those UFC guys can learn to do a proper promo and really build some good fights. Both companies will continue to grow. You may see a few more fighters in the WWE audience and a few more wrestlers in their audience, but I don't really envision too much crossover." During that same interview, the dead man said this about being in attendance for WrestleMania 39, saying, "I've got to the point now where if I'm home, I'm fine. It's when I do show up at a WWE event, I get that I should be getting ready feeling. At WrestleMania 39, I was there and I had my family and friends up in a suite watching the show, and I kind of found myself rocking in my chair like, oh my gosh, I should be down there. So in those instances, it's there. It's still in my heart and it's in my brain." Recalling an idea he had with Alicia Fox to do a sugar daddy storyline for Total Divas, Larry Zbyszko told Hannibal TV, "At the very beginning, when they first asked her to go on, I was at her house and we were kicking around an idea, the sugar daddy rumor, me and her. But I just couldn't humiliate the kid and have people think that there was something going on, where at the end it turns out we're just friends and I'm helping her learn how to wrestle. I just couldn't humiliate the chick." For an update on the lawsuit brought against WWE by MLW, Ringside News said that PW Insider reports that WWE has submitted an updated response to Major League Wrestling's admitted antitrust lawsuit. They're currently seeking its dismissal. In a 20-page document filed on Monday, the Stanford-based promotion argued that MLW's opposition to WWE's motion to dismiss lacked truth and contradicted its own allegations. MLW accused WWE of interfering with their business dealings, resulting in potential loss of television rights fees and exposure. WWE countered by referencing the substantial media rights fees negotiated by All Elite Wrestling and Women of Wrestling. They also highlighted MLW's recent announcements of multiple new agreements with FIGHT, asserting that MLW's antitrust claims were inherently doomed. The initial lawsuit against WWE was filed by MLW in January 2022. At the time, they were claiming that WWE had sabotaged their deal with Fox-owned streaming service Tubi. They alleged personal involvement of former WWE executive Stephanie McMahon in terminating the agreement. MLW also claimed that WWE disrupted their relationship with Vice TV as Vince McMahon supposedly ordered Vice to stop airing MLW content. MLW argued that WWE's practices affected other wrestling promotions as well. Earlier this year, a judge dismissed MLW's lawsuit but granted the promotion 21 days to amend their complaint. WWE filed a motion to dismiss in April following MLW's adjusted filing, and MLW responded promptly. The hearing regarding WWE's motion to dismiss is scheduled for June 15th, initially planned for July 20th. Replying to a post confirming that CM Punk will be at the debut show for AEW Collision on the 17th, Andrade El Idolo replied, seemingly hinting at a return. "I have something similar with this guy. Hashtag AEW Collision." With her recently announcing her pregnancy online, Alexa Bliss said this about her time off and return to the ring in the future, telling the Messenger, "WWE gave me time off for Masked Singer to kind of fully dive into that experience with rehearsals, vocal lessons, and all that stuff. Storyline wise, I was not on TV anyway, so it really kind of worked out perfectly. WWE extended my contract, and so it's just basically come back when I'm ready. Probably a month after the baby, I'll start probably getting back into the gym and getting ready to see what my in-ring return looks like." And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.